The stone in the pocket. A young man named Daniel carried a small stone in his pocket every day. It wasn't valuable. It wasn't beautiful. In fact, it looked like an ordinary rock picked up from the side of a road. Yet Daniel never left home without it. Years earlier, when Daniel was a teenager, he had gone through one of the hardest seasons of his life. His father had lost his job. Money was scarce. His family was struggling. Every day Daniel prayed for things to get better, but nothing seemed to change. One afternoon, frustrated and discouraged, he sat beside a river and asked God a question. Why aren't you helping us? There was no voice from heaven, no miracle, just silence. As he sat there, he noticed an old man skipping stones across the water. The man smiled and handed Daniel a small rock. "Keep this," he said. "For what?" Daniel asked. The old man replied, "To remind you that God is working even when you can't see it." Daniel wasn't impressed, but he put the stone in his pocket anyway. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Life remained difficult. Whenever Daniel reached into his pocket and felt the stone, he remembered those words. God is working even when you can't see it. Eventually, his father found a new job. The family situation improved. Life moved forward. Years passed. Daniel graduated from college, started a career, built a family of his own. Yet he kept carrying the stone. Then came another difficult season. His business failed. He lost money. Fear returned. One evening, he sat alone, holding the stone in his hand. Suddenly, he remembered all the challenges he had survived before. Every moment when he thought God had abandoned him. Every situation that eventually worked out in ways he never expected. That's when he realized something. God had been faithful all along, not always in the way Daniel wanted, not always according to Daniel's timeline, but faithful nonetheless. The next day, while walking through a park, Daniel met a young woman sitting on a bench with tears in her eyes. She had just lost her job and felt hopeless. For nearly an hour, Daniel listened to her story. Before leaving, he reached into his pocket and pulled out the stone. "This helped me through some difficult times," he said. Then he told her the lesson he had learned. Sometimes God is doing his greatest work behind the scenes. Just because you can't see it today doesn't mean he's not moving. The woman accepted the stone. Years later, she would pass it on to someone else facing a struggle. And then that person would do the same. The stone itself had no power. It was simply a reminder. A reminder that faith means trusting when you don't have all the answers. Trusting when the road is unclear. Trusting when prayers seem unanswered. Because God's plan is often unfolding long before we can recognize it. And sometimes the greatest miracle is discovering that he was with you every step of the way, even when you thought you were walking alone.